Have you ever felt it? That moment when you lower yourself to make others comfortable, when you bite your tongue to keep the peace, when you shrink your dreams because they seem too much for those around you. It happens silently, almost elegantly. A smile instead of a scream, a nod instead of a boundary, a surrender disguised as kindness, but beneath it all, a bitter seed grows, a feeling of betrayal, not from the world, but from yourself. Why do we glorify weakness? Why do we bend for those who refuse to stand? The modern world sings praises to the broken, the lost, the perpetually wounded. We confuse compassion with worship. We confuse understanding with surrender. Somewhere along the way, we began to believe that to uplift others, we must lower ourselves. That strength is arrogance, that pride is cruelty, that ambition is selfishness. But this is a lie. Friedrich Nietzsche saw it long before us. He whispered warnings into a world that refused to listen. Beware, he said, of those who call their weakness virtue. When we celebrate weakness, we condemn greatness. When we sanctify the broken, we crucify the strong. You know this, don't you? You felt the subtle shame for wanting more, for daring to say, I deserve better. You've been told to be humble, to be small, to be grateful for scraps. They fear your power because it reminds them of their chains. They preach humility not from wisdom, but from cowardice. Look closer. Those who worship weakness are not saints. They are tyrants disguised in victimhood. They weaponize their wounds. They demand loyalty without giving strength. They ask you to bleed for their comfort. And if you refuse, you are labeled cruel. But strength is not cruelty. It is an act of violence against your soul to pretend to be less than you are. Every time you silence your truth for the fragile egos of others, you kill a piece of yourself. And yet we are trained, from birth, to believe this is goodness. Be nice, they say. Don't be difficult. Lower your voice. Apologize even when you are right. Sacrifice your dreams for the comfort of others, and in doing so you are praised, you are called mature, you are called selfless. But Nietzsche reminds us, no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. Own yourself. Even if it means being called arrogant, even if it means standing alone, especially if it means standing alone. Because when you shrink for others, you teach them to expect it. You teach them that your strength is negotiable, that your boundaries are suggestions, not laws. And soon you forget the taste of your own power. The world does not need more worshippers of weakness. The world needs those who remember how to stand, how to fight, how to burn. Do you feel the fire stirring inside you now? Good. Do not let it die. You were not born to bow. You were not born to apologize for your existence. You were born to carve your path through stone, through silence, through resistance. Do you ever feel like someone finally sees the part of you you've always hidden? Here, you don't have to hide anymore. You're safe now. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so we can keep walking this path together. Thank you. Stop worshipping weakness. And if you fear that this makes you cruel, remember, the cruelest thing you could do is betray the strength that was born inside you. In the next journey, we will go deeper. What happens when you finally refuse to kneel? What becomes of the world and yourself when you choose to rise? There comes a day when the weight becomes too much, when bending becomes breaking, when silence becomes suffocation. You stand there, a hollowed version of yourself, wondering how you became so small. You remember the nights spent apologizing for your dreams, the mornings spent shrinking into a life that no longer fits. And then it happens. A spark, almost invisible, flickers inside you. What if you stopped kneeling? What if you refused to offer your throat to the world that demands it? The fear is immediate, isn't it? The moment you imagine standing up. Not just standing, rising. The mind floods with images of abandonment, rejection, exile. They told you love was conditional. They made sure you knew your worth depended on your obedience. But what is love that demands your self-destruction? What is belonging that requires your disappearance? Nietzsche spoke of the will to power not as domination over others, but as the full, unapologetic expression of oneself. It is not about crushing the world under your heel, but about refusing to be crushed by it. When you rise, you will lose people. Understand this now. Prepare for it. Some will call you selfish. Some will call you arrogant. Some will call you dangerous. Let them. Their words are the echoes of their own fear. Their accusations are confessions of their own chains. You were not made to be palatable. You were made to be powerful. Strength does not seek permission. Power does not apologize. You will learn that standing up is not the beginning of loneliness. It is the end of pretending. It is the violent tearing away of false connections. It is the painful birth of true belonging, not to others, but to yourself. When you stop worshiping weakness, the world will seem harsher, colder, crueler. Not because it changed, but because you removed the veil. You will see manipulation where you once saw love. You will see cowardice where you once saw kindness. You will see chains where you once saw loyalty, and it will hurt. God, it will hurt. But on the other side of that pain, there is something fierce, something pure, a self that cannot be negotiated, a spirit that cannot be bought. And the world, the real world, not the polite illusion, will begin to reveal itself to you. You will recognize the other warriors, other souls who chose fire over comfort, eyes that do not flinch, voices that do not tremble. You will not be alone. But first you must rise alone. You must be willing to lose everything that was never truly yours. And when you stand there alone, stripped of falsehoods and fetters, you will feel it. Freedom, the sharp, wild, terrifying taste of it. Are you ready for that? Because once you taste it, you can never go back. The world will offer you countless reasons to kneel again. Pity, guilt, loneliness, fear. They will whisper seductions into your ear. Come back, be small again, be safe. But you will know the price, and you will know it is too high. The journey is only beginning. In the next passage, we will explore the architecture of true power, the silent, unshakable foundation of a life that no longer bends to weakness. There is a silence that follows rebellion, a silence not of peace, but of vacancy. After you rise, after you tear yourself free from the comforting bonds of weakness, there is a hollow space where the familiar once lived. You are free, yes, but you are also alone in ways you have never known. Do not mistake this for failure. It is the empty field upon which you will build something unshakable. Freedom is a frightening thing. The mind, so long caged, resists it. It begs for the old certainties. It craves the chains that once felt like home. You will feel the pull of nostalgia, the ache for the false comfort of weakness. Resist it. Nietzsche taught us that man is not born to find meaning in external approval, but to create meaning through the assertion of his own will, not to inherit values, but to forge them anew in the crucible of his own fire. When you refuse to worship weakness, you become terrifying to a world that depends on conformity. You are no longer predictable. You are no longer safe. You are an anomaly, a disruption, and they will try to pull you back. But you will see the price now, and it will make you sick. Every time you deny your strength, you commit a small suicide. Every time you choose approval over authenticity, you dig your own grave a little deeper. There is no middle path. There is no compromise between standing tall and kneeling. You must choose. You must choose every day, every moment. The architecture of true power is built from these choices. Silent, invisible bricks laid in the solitude of your own soul. Power is not noise. Power is not domination. Power is the unyielding refusal to betray yourself. It is the quiet knowledge that you will not bend, no matter the cost. And there will be a cost. The cost is misunderstanding. The cost is loneliness. The cost is the cold eyes of those who once called you friend. But what you gain is beyond measure. You gain yourself. You gain a life that is not built on performance, but on presence. Not on manipulation, but on meaning. Not on fear, but on fire. You will notice your energy change. It will become sharper, cleaner. People will sense it. Some will be drawn to it. Others will recoil from it, as if from a flame. Do not chase those who run. Let them go. Their flight is not your concern. Your concern is only this: to remain true to the fire that burns within you. Every day you do this, you fortify the foundation. Every day you refuse to kneel, you carve deeper into the bedrock of your own soul. You will not need to shout. You will not need to prove. Your presence will speak for you. Your life will become a silent rebellion against every lie you were ever told. And in time, you will no longer remember what it felt like to betray yourself for the comfort of others. You were never meant to belong to a sick world. You were meant to stand as a testament that another way is possible. A way without chains. A way without fear. A way without the worship of weakness. The work is not easy. It is brutal. It is relentless. But it is sacred. Every scar you earn in this battle is a mark of honor. Every tear you shed is holy. You are not losing yourself. You are shedding what was never truly you. The next step awaits. How do you forge a strength so deep, so silent, that no storm can touch it? Imagine standing at the edge of the world. No map, no guide. Just the vast unknown stretching before you. The safety you once clung to has dissolved. The familiar has crumbled. Only the fierce whisper of possibility remains. This is the moment the soul either collapses or conquers. This is where true strength is born. Strength is not noise. It is not the desperate clanging of egos. Strength is the quiet certainty that refuses to yield, even when the world demands it. It is built in silence, in solitude, in suffering. Not displayed for applause, but cultivated in the dark corners of the soul where no one is watching. Nietzsche understood this. The Übermensch he spoke of is not a monster of power, but a creator of meaning. An architect of a life rooted so deeply that no storm can uproot it. To build such strength, you must embrace the loneliness. You must learn to love the silence. You must make peace with being misunderstood. They will call you cold. They will call you arrogant. They will say you have changed. And you must smile at this, knowing that change was the point. Evolution is the price of self-ownership. You cannot forge true strength while clinging to the illusions that kept you weak. You cannot become yourself while begging for the approval of those addicted to mediocrity. You must shed it all. Every false friend, every comforting lie, every soft chain you once mistook for love. There will be nights when you feel hollow, when the temptation to return to the old life howls in your bones, when every step forward feels like dragging a corpse behind you. Keep going. This pain is not a sign you are wrong. It is a sign you are shedding the skin of your former self. Power is born in perseverance. Real strength is forged by walking through fire and refusing to let it burn away your essence. You will have to learn a new language, the language of solitude, the language of self-respect, the language of silence that speaks louder than any scream. Not everyone will understand you. Most won't. They will say you are distant. They will say you think you are better. And maybe you are. Better than who you were. Better than the person who bowed to weakness. Better than the soul who betrayed themselves for acceptance. This is not arrogance. This is honesty. You owe no one your diminishment. You owe no one your surrender. If you must walk alone to stay true, then walk alone. If you must lose the world to find yourself, then lose it. The ground you are building beneath your feet is sacred. It is made not of sand but of stone, hammered into place by every choice you make to honor your truth. You will no longer live a life of reaction. You will no longer dance to the tunes played by trembling hands. You will no longer seek refuge in weakness disguised as kindness. You will stand, silent, fierce, unshakable, and those who have eyes to see will see you. Those who have hearts strong enough will find you, but you will not wait for them. You will not build yourself as bait. You will build yourself because it is the only path worth walking. When you stop worshiping weakness, you start honoring the sacredness of your existence. You stop apologizing for your strength, your ambition, your refusal to settle. You become a lighthouse, not a lifeboat. You do not jump into the waters to save those who will only drag you under. You stand firm, you shine, and those who are ready will find their own way to the shore. This is the ultimate discipline, to remain rooted in yourself when everything around you begs for your collapse, to hold your line when the storms rage and the sky splits, to smile into the void and say, "I will not move." True power is not the absence of fear, it is the mastery of it. You will still feel the tremors, you will still hear the voices, but they will no longer govern you. You will act from your center, not your wounds. You will create from your fire, not your fear. This is the gift of walking away from the altar of weakness. You do not become invulnerable. You become undeniable. You do not erase your humanity. You exalt it. You do not become heartless. You become whole. Every scar, every tear, every lonely night becomes part of the armor you forge. Not armor to hide behind, but armor that radiates. Armor that does not close you off, but anchors you deeper into life itself. You become a force, not because you crush others, but because you refuse to be crushed. And when the day comes, and it will, when someone dares to ask you to bow again, you will look them in the eye with quiet certainty, and you will not even need to speak. Your presence will say everything. Strength is not a destination. It is a way of being. It is 1,000 tiny choices made in solitude. It is the refusal to betray yourself, no matter the cost. It is a love so fierce for your own soul that nothing, no one, can tear it from you. In the next passage, we will face the final question. Once you have built yourself, what do you do with all this power? The final crucible is not standing alone. It is not refusing to kneel. It is not surviving the storms or silencing the noise. The final crucible is knowing what to do once you possess the power. What do you create with the hands that no longer tremble? What world will you forge from the fire that once nearly consumed you? Possession of power terrifies those who have lived too long in chains. We are taught to seek salvation, not sovereignty, to beg for mercy, not to carve our own destinies. But you who have walked through the silence, through the suffering, through the sacred fire, you know now. You are not here to serve weakness. You are here to create. The power you have built is not a weapon. It is a womb. It is a source. It is the raw, electric force from which all new worlds are born. The broken will tempt you to squander it. They will offer you thrones made of dust, crowns woven from cowardice. They will ask you to wield your strength not for creation, but for validation. Refuse. You owe the world nothing. You owe yourself everything. The first act of true power is creation. You create boundaries that do not require explanation. You create silence where once there was endless, meaningless noise. You create movement without permission. You create a life so aligned with your soul that no betrayal, no exile, no loss can divert you. But creation demands discipline. Freedom without discipline is chaos. Power without purpose is destruction. You must become both fire and stone, fierce and rooted, alive and unwavering. The temptation will be to wield your power against those who once hurt you. But vengeance is a trap. It binds you to the past. It makes you a mirror of what you despise. True creation is forward. It is generative. It is the quiet, relentless building of a life so magnificent, so untouchable that it renders old wounds irrelevant. Nietzsche wrote of becoming who you are, not who the world demands, not who your fear permits. Who you are beneath every mask, every scar, every whispered doubt. The world you must build starts within. You will no longer look outward for validation. You will no longer measure your worth by how well you are understood. You will no longer compromise your essence for a seat at a table built by fear. You will build your own table. You will become a force so rooted that you no longer need to defend yourself. Your life itself will be the defense. Your energy will be the shield, and those who dare to enter your world will know. This is sacred ground. You will inspire without intending to. You will lead without trying. Because true leadership is not domination. It is embodiment. You embody the path you carved. You embody the truths you bled for. You embody the fierce, painful, holy journey from weakness to power. Creation is not loud. It is not performative. It is not desperate for attention. Creation is quiet, relentless, sacred. It is a tree growing roots deep into the earth, unseen. It is a mountain forming over centuries, imperceptible yet unstoppable. It is you becoming. You will lose many along this path. Understand this. Those who cannot face their own weakness will flee from your strength. Those who prefer illusions will resent your clarity. Those who live in fear will see you as a threat. Let them. Your path is not for them. Your power is not theirs to consume. You will draw to you those who are ready, those who have bled as you have bled, those who have burned as you have burned. And together, without effort, without pretense, you will create a new world, not through conquest, through presence, through the unshakable, undeniable truth of who you have become. You are no longer worshiping weakness. You are no longer apologizing for your strength. You are no longer negotiating your worth. You are creating. And creation is the purest form of rebellion. It is the final, irrevocable severance from the chains that once bound you. It is the ultimate declaration, I am, and that is enough. You will not be celebrated by the many. You will be misunderstood by the timid. You will be feared by the weak, but you will walk among the fierce. You will stand among the unbreakable. You will live, not survive. You will create, not consume. You will burn with a fire that warms the strong and blinds the cowards. And in the final reckoning, when you look back at the ruins you walked through, the mountains you climbed, the oceans you crossed, you will know you did not worship weakness. You worshipped truth. You worshipped power. You worshipped the sacred, brutal, magnificent act of becoming who you were always meant to be, and that is enough.